Hi, Drew. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Hi, J.E. Nice to see you as always. The internet looks bad. Let me know if there's an issue. And there's nothing I can do. So it is what it is. But usually it's not like this, so I don't know. I wanted to ask, would y'all prefer to see this beautiful background as more lit up in the screen? Or would you rather see me more clearly? Because it's not possible to see both. Just because of lighting. I get to get a selfie light again. And then that will help. And also, I haven't. So if you have a preference, let me know. If not, then we'll continue to have the beautiful green background as more in focus and my face in shadow. So, welcome, Elisa. Hi, Ginger. Nice to see you. Yeah, great to have everybody today. If you are new, please say hello if you would like. I can welcome you. If you're new to me, if you're new to Insight Timer, if you're new to Conversations with God. If you're new to Insight Timer live streams. Elisa, I'm not sure I have seen you before, but maybe you've listened or maybe I forgot. So I'm super excited to be with you here today for this topic in this book study, which y'all that know me know I'm a Michael Singer fanatic. So I talk about him all the time. And I would say Conversations with God is like my number 2 thing, or maybe they're equal, that I'm passionate about sharing and living to the best of my ability. So, okay, great, Elisa. Glad to have you back. Hi, Andrea. So, hi, Duchess. I'm not able to see everybody. For whatever reason, people are not all showing up in my bottom of my screen. So yes, if there is anybody that doesn't know anything about this book, Conversations with God, Book 1, we're going to be diving deeper into that. And yeah, this teaching is my soul can't get enough, because for me and my perception and my soul's perception, it is the truth with a capital T. So yeah, it's made a huge difference in my life and my outlook and the way I see the world and the way I do my best to bring the teachings into my world and even interacting in the world. Even so, I've been reading highlights from a chapter in the book daily, and even the past few days, I've put some of those into my phone as reminders every hour. Which is a great practice to do. So, yeah, this hour it says, what would love do now? The highest choice is that which produces the highest good for you. So this is speaking in the context of relationships, which everything is relationship. So we're going to go deeper into that. I'm going to be reading from the book myself. If you want the audio book link, send me a private message. Happy to share that with you. Hi, Sarah. And yeah, if you are new to me, I'm a spiritual life coach, Reiki master teacher, and intuitive. I go live on different topics often in the week. I do work one-on-one with people in spiritual life coaching. I do offer one-on-one Reiki Ancestral Clearing sessions and tarot sessions, tarot/oracle cards. I also bring all of that into my work here. And we've got a few more days left until the launch of my signature group coaching program, Money Mindset, that I've been working very diligently on preparing for and super excited about. So there are still like 2 spots open if you're ready to up-level your financial life and you're sick of never having enough money, being in lack, scarcity, either in mind and or bank account balance. Reach out, send me a message. We'll see if you might be a good fit. So I saw somebody else join, but now their bubble is gone. So yeah, who's ready to dive in? And nobody said they are new to this material, Conversations with God. And also, I want to make an invitation to everyone listening. I also do have all of my live replays available on my YouTube channel. So, and I have a playlist there. I've a couple with just my general live streams, and then one with this book topic, one with There's Nothing Wrong with You, another book we're studying. We'll be going live on that in 24 hours. And then I did a new one for Byron Katie. I'm doing like a mini series on her work. And also, so just trust, if you're new, if you're joining, if you've been here many times, like, and if it's important to you to go back and watch the other replays, they're all available in order there. You can follow me on social as well, Facebook, Instagram, check my website, all that yummy stuff. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, for the month of June, I have scheduled all of my live streams. I've made a schedule. We are going to be meeting every week at the same time for all of my sessions for the topics we are covering. So every week at this time for June, we're meeting for this Conversations with God. Tomorrow, we're meeting every week at that time for There's Nothing Wrong with You, which is a powerful book as well. We're also meeting Thursday mornings in the West, Thursday evenings in the East. I'm in Bali, by the way, in the East of the world. And we're going to be doing morning Reiki every week at that time. Friday/Saturday, Byron Katie, same time. And of course, Saturday Night Lives have been that way a long while. So, hi Maureen. Life-changing book for you, amazing. So those of you who do know this book, I'd love to hear your, like Maureen says, it's been life-changing for them. If you do know of this book, has it impacted you? What are your thoughts? And also, I always say this, that, come to this material with an open mind, because it will touch your stuff. It will challenge you. And so when you notice that, the invitation is to notice that, oh, isn't this interesting? Oh, wow, I had my mind really had an opinion about that, or my body had a response to that. And just be as the witness and observer, and then, not close your mind based on that, but from a place of pause and being the observer of that, then you can choose, what you want to take on from this material. Take what you like and leave the rest. So it's about being curious, open, and what we bring to this conversation, in the comments really enriches the discussion and the experience, because our energies, build upon each other. So please ask questions, comments, challenge what you hear, if you want to. Again, from that place of response. Yeah. And so we'll go ahead and dive in. If you do have the book and you want to follow along, we are on page 85. So last time, it was awesome. So many of you were here, and I'm so glad to have you as always. And by the way, follow me here if you don't already. Give a donation if you feel called to. But yeah, it was really great about judgment, self-judgment, the soul's work. Yeah, it was great. So what was the conversation? So it's a conversation with God, if you don't know. So there's God speaking and then the author speaking. So I will just, go back and forth and read both parts. So it ended where we stopped was this idea that the soul is seeking to feel perfect love, which is God. So it's seeking to experience and be love, which is God. So that the soul is seeking to be God. So I will read just a paragraph before to orient us back into it. It says, so God says, well, your soul seeks the highest feeling. It seeks to experience, to be perfect love. It is perfect love, and it knows this. Yet it wishes to do more than know it. It wishes to be in its experience. Of course you're seeking to be God. What else did you think you were up to? Then the author says, I don't know, I'm not sure. I guess I just never thought of it that way. There just seems to be something vaguely blasphemous about that. Isn't it interesting that you find nothing blasphemous about seeking to be like the devil, but seeking to be like God offends you? So I'm going to pause here. When the book talks about God and the devil, this is not a Christian book in the traditional sense. So just be open to these words, and it's not saying that there is a devil, etc. It's speaking about the collective and the ideas that humans have a lot. So it says, God says, isn't it interesting that you find nothing blasphemous about seeking to be like the devil, but seeking to be like God offends you? Now wait a minute, who's seeking to be like the devil? You are. You all are. You've even created religions that tell you are born in sin, that you are sinners at birth, in order to convince yourselves of your own evil. Yet if I told you are born of God, that you are pure gods and goddesses at birth, pure love, you would reject me. All your life you have spent convincing yourself that you are bad. Not only that you are bad, but that the things you want are bad. Sex is bad, money is bad, joy is bad, power is bad. Having a lot is bad. A lot of anything. Some of your religions have even got you believing that dancing is bad, music is bad, celebrating life is bad. Soon you'll agree that smiling is bad, laughing is bad, loving is bad. No, my friend. You may not be very clear about many things, but about one thing you are clear. You and most of what you desire are bad. Having made this judgment about yourself, you have decided that your job is to get better. It's okay, mind you. It's the same destination in any event. It's just that there's a faster way, a shorter route, a quicker path, which is acceptance of who and what you are right now in demonstration of that. So I'm going to pause there. Hi, Rochelle. Welcome, welcome. 44 meditators here. So you can even see how these ideas may touch on some people's stuff. That this is even tying into the topic of the book tomorrow that we're reading, or tonight for some of you, or no, tomorrow for most of you. There's nothing wrong with you. Talking about that intrinsic self-judgment where we're always usually making ourselves bad and wrong for everything. And so just as all truths ultimately are saying the same thing in different language, so is this. The book that we're studying, There's Nothing Wrong with You, also says, the answer is acceptance and self-compassion, and just accepting ourselves where we are and that there's nothing wrong with us. By the way, if you want that free PDF, copy of that book, send me a message. So, acceptance of who and what you are right now and demonstration of that. This is what Jesus did. It's the path of the Buddha, the way of Krishna, the walk of every master who has appeared on the planet. And every master has likewise had the same message. Every master has likewise had the same message. What I am, you are. What I can do, you can do. These things and more shall you also do. Yet you have not listened. You have chosen instead the far more difficult path of one who thinks he is the devil, one who imagines he is evil. You say it's difficult to walk the path of Christ, to follow the teachings of the Buddha, to hold the light of Krishna, to be a master. Yet I tell you this, it's far more difficult to deny who you are than to accept it. You are goodness and mercy and compassion and understanding. You are peace and joy and light. You are forgiveness and patience, strength and courage, a helper in time of need, a comforter in time of sorrow, a healer in time of injury, a teacher in times of confusion. You are the deepest wisdom and the highest truth, the greatest peace and the grandest love. You are these things, and in moments of your life you have known yourself as these things. Choose now to know yourself as these things always. Breathe in. And take in that truth. How many of you can relate to this, that you judge yourself as bad and wrong, intrinsically bad? I can relate. I have the conceptual knowing that I'm not, based on learning these teachings, and then I will have glimpses that I am a helper in time of need, a healer in time of injury, a teacher in times of confusion, that I am love. And then the old conditioning comes in, and I forget, and I remember. So the book says the easier path is, there's a faster way, a shorter route, a quicker path. Acceptance of who and what you are right now, and the demonstration of that. Choose now to know yourself as these things always. So it's a decision, it's an intention, it's a commitment, it's a moment-by-moment choice. Because we can only do anything right now in this moment. So that's the end of chapter 3. Chapter 4. Any questions, comments so far? To me, I can just feel my soul like drinking in that truth like it's thirsty. Okay, next page. So the author says, "Whew, you inspire me." Well, if God can't inspire you, who the hell can? Are you always this flip? I meant that not as a flippancy. Read it again. Oh, I see. Yes. However, it would be okay if I were being flip, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'm used to my God being a little more serious. Well, do me a favor and don't try to contain me. By the way, do yourself the same favor. It just so happens I have a great sense of humor. I'd say you'd have to when you see what you've all done with life, wouldn't you? I mean, sometimes I just have to laugh at it. It's all right, though, because you see, I know it all will come out all right in the end. What do you mean by that? I mean, you can't lose in this game. You can't go wrong. It's not part of the plan. There's no way not to get where you are going. There's no way to miss your destination. If God is your target, you're in luck, because God is so big, you can't miss. That's the big worry, of course. The big worry is that somehow we'll mess up and not ever get to see you, be with you. You mean get to heaven? Yes. We're all afraid of going to hell. So you've placed yourself there to begin with in order to avoid going there. Interesting strategy. There you are, being flip again. I can't help it. This whole hell thing brings out the worst in me. Good grief, you're a regular comedian. It took you this long to find that out? You looked at the world lately? Which brings me to another question. Why don't you fix the world instead of allowing it to go to hell? So I'm going to pause, because what I want to touch in on that can be really comforting. It is comforting for me, and I've shared this passage with clients before, or a similar one in the book, where it says, God says, I know it all will come out all right in the end, because you can't lose in this game. You can't go wrong. It's not part of the plan. There's no way not to get where you're going. There's no way to miss your destination. If God is your target, you're in luck, because God is so big you can't miss. So is there anybody here that feels like they might, not get there, not get to the destination, whatever that may be in this lifetime, and at the end of them all, whenever that may be? If anybody does have that feeling, it's not possible, because there's only one path, and it only ends in God. So the author then says, which brings me to another question: why don't you fix the world instead of allowing it to go to hell? God says, why don't you? I don't have that power. Nonsense. You've the power and the ability right now to end world hunger this minute, to cure diseases this instant. What if I told you your own medical profession holds back cures, refuses to approve alternative medicines and procedures because they threaten the very structure of the, quote, healing profession? What if I told you that the governments of the world do not want to end world hunger? Would you believe me? I'd have a hard time with that. I know that's the popular view, but I can't believe it's actually true. No doctor wants to deny a cure. No countryman wants to see his people die. No individual doctor, that's true. No particular countryman, that's right. But doctoring and politicking have become institutionalized. And it's the institutions that fight these things, sometimes very subtly, sometimes even unwittingly, but inevitably, because to those institutions it's a matter of survival. And so, to give you just one very simple and obvious example, doctors in the West deny the healing efficacies of doctors in the East, because to accept them, to admit that certain alternate modalities might just provide some healing, would be to tear at the very fabric of the institution as it has structured itself. This is not malevolent, yet it is insidious. The profession doesn't do this because it is evil. It does it because it is scared. All attack is a call for help. I read that in A Course in Miracles. I put it there. Boy, you have an answer to everything. Which reminds me, we only just started getting to your questions. We were discussing how to get your life on track, how to get it to take off. I was discussing the process of creation. Yes, and I kept interrupting. That's all right, but let's just get back, because we don't want to lose the thread of something that's very important. So it touched in on this paradigm and structure of the countries, the governments, the healthcare system in the world, and then God redirected the author, or vice versa, back to, okay, the author, when he wrote this book, his life was not working. So he had asked God earlier, we were discussing how to get your life on track, how to get it to take off. So now we're going to go into that. Life is a creation, not a discovery. So I want y'all to really take this in, because on the spiritual path, we hear it all the time, and it's going to talk about this in the book too. We think of this as an earth school, that we're learning things. This book does not say that. It says we already know it. So, you do not live each day to discover what it holds for you, but to create it. You are creating your reality every minute, probably without knowing it. Here's why that is so and how that works. Number 1, I have created you in the image and likeness of God. And again, God is whatever you conceptualize that to be. 2, God is the creator. 3, you are 3 beings in one. You can call these three aspects of being anything you want: Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, mind, body, spirit, superconscious, conscious, subconscious. 4, creation is a process that proceeds from these three parts of your body. Put another way, you create at 3 levels. The tools of creation are thought, word, and deed. So, is anyone hearing anything familiar here? Duchess, Ginger. Being beings of creation, creating ourselves, actualizing ourselves, self-realization, living, visioning, feeling the way it feels to have the results that we want. So the tools of creation are thought, word, and deed. So this is going to get really, like, there's so much here that's so useful and valuable. If you want, I can take a picture of this page because it's like, it's numbered. If you want to reference this, it's page 91. So send me a private message if you'd like. And I'll just pause here because we're about halfway through. If anyone's joining in late or not late, if anyone hasn't been here since the beginning, you care to say hello. We're reading Conversations with God. If you did miss anything or you want to revisit, you can catch the replays. Send me a message. I'll share that with you. Deb, welcome, welcome. And don't forget to, if this is helpful, give me a follow if you vibe with what I'm up to and want to connect. I also have a group here, Natalie's Healing Circle, you can join, and I also have meditations that you can experience. So, number 5. All creation begins with thought. And then it quotes the Bible. So just release any energy you might have about that and just take in the words. All creation begins with thought, proceeds from the Father. All creation then moves to word. Ask and you shall receive. Speak and it shall be done unto you. All creation is fulfilled in deed, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. Number 6, that which you think of, but thereafter never speak of, creates at one level. That which you think of and speak of creates at another level. That which you think, speak, and do becomes made manifest in your reality. So people think about law of attraction and maybe it doesn't work, or affirmations and why, people say they don't work. There's 3 levels of creation. Or even thinking like, well, I've thought bad stuff for years and nothing's happened. Well, there's a creation and a level of thought. If you never say anything about it, if it doesn't go further, then it has a certain power or quality. Awesome, Deb. Keep me informed on how you experience the book. Number 7, to think, speak, and do something which you do not truly believe is impossible. Ooh, that's powerful. To think, speak, and do something which you do not truly believe is impossible. Therefore, the process of creation must include belief or knowing. This is absolute faith. This is beyond hoping. This is knowing of a certainty. By your faith shall you be healed. Therefore, the doing part of creation always includes knowing. It is a gut level clarity, a total certainty, a complete acceptance as reality of something. Whew. Breathe into that. So this can help give clarity and clear up mysteries or questions on these ideas of manifestation, etc. Is this landing with y'all? Questions, comments? So what I'm thinking of, and I'm a life coach, and in the realms of coaching, at least in the way that I know and learn and experience and hopefully be with others, is the idea of commitment and how strong that is, and that idea of commitment draws somebody forward into what they want to create and their goal or their vision. So really, commitment is faith. Commitment is knowing of a certainty. It means that although I can't see the $1 million in the bank, that my body's in 100% health, that the lover's beside me, that there is a knowing of a certainty, and there is a commitment to create it, no matter what it looks like on the outside. Number 8. This place of knowing is a place of intense and incredible gratitude. So here's where the gratitude piece comes in. It is a thankfulness in advance. And that perhaps is the biggest key to creation, to be grateful before and for the creation. Such taking for granted is not only condoned but encouraged. It is the sure sign of mastery. All masters know in advance that the deed has been done. So Jesus, whatever you may think about that, like the stories of it are that he had faith, knowing that he would cure people and heal people, and they were. So it's saying 3 tools of creation: thought, word, and deed. You must have belief or knowing, faith, not hope, but faith, a total certainty, and then having gratitude in advance. Feeling it. Questions about that? Number 9, celebrate and enjoy all that you create, have created. Celebrate and enjoy all that you create, have created. To reject any part of it is to reject a part of yourself. Wow. To reject any part of what you've created is to reject a part of yourself. Whatever it is that is now presenting itself as part of your creation, own it, claim it, bless it, be thankful for it. Seek not to condemn it. God damn it, it says in parentheses. For to condemn it is to condemn yourself as the creator. Ariana, never thought about gratitude in advance. Lucy, totally. So I'm a student of Joe Dispenza. I know many of you know him and maybe are as well. And that's a big part of his teachings, is being in the energy. I mean, all of them. Neville Goddard, being in the energy of the wish fulfilled, as if it's how would it feel, it's already happened. Number 10. If there is some aspect of creation you find you do not enjoy, bless it and simply change it. Bless it. What do we normally do? Resist it, not like it, not want it to be there. This is saying bless it and simply change it. Choose again. Call forth a new reality. Think a new thought. Say a new word. Do a new thing. Do this magnificently, and the rest of the world will follow you. Ask it to. Call for it to say, I am the life and the way. Follow me. This is how to manifest God's will on earth as it is in heaven. Think a new thought, say a new word, do a new thing. So I recently saw this. I'm in Bali, for those who don't know. I live here. I saw this Balinese healer a few weeks ago, and you know, I'm human. I go through my stuff. I have ups and downs. I was in a bit of a down about something, and I was like saying something about it, and he's like, stop saying that. Stop saying that is your story. Like, no, moving forward, that's not the reality. You are changing it. You are creating something new. You've got to stop talking like that. So that's why even in here, y'all have heard me say, like, especially if somebody's like, oh, my chronic pain, my fibromyalgia, my anxiety, you know, those are like physical and emotional, or, you know, whatever, my critical boss. I mean, you can do that for anything, like, to at least stop owning it. Stop using the word my. That's one level of releasing on a subconscious level the ownership and the addiction to the problem and seeing it in that way. How often, think about yourself in your life and your, quote, problems. How often do you talk about your problems to others? How often, and of course, the talking starts from the thought, so you're thinking about it. So my invitation to you here is notice when you're saying anything that's not in alignment with what you want, and stop talking about it. First notice, and you can even correct it. And that's what I've been doing since he challenged me on that. I've been noticing, I've been changing the way that I speak about that issue. And since we create from thought, word, and deed, I am recreating my future reality. So the author says, if it is all as simple as that, if these 10 steps are all we need, why does it not work that way for more of us? Which I've been kind of commenting on. It does work that way for all of you. Some of you are using the system consciously with full awareness, and some of you are using it unconsciously without even knowing what you're doing. Some of you are walking in wakefulness, and some of you are sleepwalking. Yet all of you are creating your reality, creating, not discovering, using the power I've given you in the process I've just described. So you've asked when your life will take off, and I've given you the answer. You get your life to take off by first becoming very clear in your thinking about it. Think about what you want to be, do, and have. Think about it often until you're very clear about this. Then when you're very clear, think about nothing else. Imagine no other possibilities. Throw all negative thoughts out of your mental constructions. Lose all pessimism. Release all doubts. Reject all fears. Discipline your mind to hold fast to the original creative thought. When your thoughts are clear and steadfast, begin to speak them as truths. Oh, hold on. Yeah? Oh, okay. Makasih ya. Saya kerja.
Yeah.
Okay. My door is being fixed. Look what I manifested. So it says, first, clean up your thoughts, is what it's saying here. Lose all pessimism, release all doubts, reject all fears, discipline your mind to hold fast to the original creative thought. When your thoughts are clear and steadfast, begin to speak them as truths. Say them out loud. Use the great command that calls forth creative power, I am. Make I am statements to others. I am is the strongest creative statement in the universe. Whatever you think, whatever you say. Can you come back in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's a little distracting. Sorry, guys. Use the great command that calls forth creative power, I am. Make I am statements to others. I am is the strongest creative statement in the universe. Whatever you think, whatever you say after the words I am, sets into motion those experiences, calls them forth, and brings them to you. There's no other way the universe knows how to work. There's no other route it knows to take. The universe responds to I am as would a genie in a bottle. So how many have heard about the I am before? I think even the definition of Yahweh, which is in the Old Testament, I think it's an old, I don't know, Jewish word for God. I think it means I am that I am. So we create from that. Yes, I was thinking about Wayne Dyer. We were thinking that. So actually, Wayne Dyer has a meditation. I can send you the link to it. It's, I think it's called the I Am meditation. That can help. So even something for you to do is start looking at when you're thinking, well, I'm just lazy, or, you know, I am this way, blah, 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 and it's not empowering. Or if you say it out loud, if you say it, you know, in 12-step programs, you know, and I'm sober a long time, so I definitely know. I'm Natalie and I'm an alcoholic. It's a very powerful statement, which can be helpful if you've been in denial about that. right? So just start being mindful. What are you putting after any sort of I am? Lucy, thanks for your comment. You find I am very difficult because you can't feel or own the statement and feel detached. Yeah, for the negative, you feel it, you believe it, but for the positive, not. This is it. I mean, is there anybody that cannot relate to Lucy? Because if there is, I want to hear from you, because you are the exception, which is great if you are. But I think 99% of everyone can, relate to that at some point in their lives. And it's a journey. It's a practice. So, the first question would be is, do you think it's possible to shift into positive, and to believe a positive I am statement? Is there a possibility in the universe? Has anybody that's ever lived in the history of humanity ever been able to shift from a negative to a positive and believe it and then become it? First, you've got to believe that there is like a possibility of that, which is what it said earlier about the knowing and the faith and the belief. I'm not telling you to have 100% faith right now. I'm inviting you and anyone else, because Lucy, you're speaking for people here who aren't speaking up, which is fine. So thank you for being that voice. Just think about, is it possible that I could believe a positive I am statement? Is there a possibility of that somewhere in the infinite universe? And if you have that belief, I mean, that's like what that faith that opens the door, even just for a second, or I mean, like a little bit. Now, this book says, this is the instructions: throw all negative thoughts out of your mental constructions, lose all pessimism, release all doubts, reject all fears. This is the crux. First, believing that it's possible for you, even if it's just 0.001%. Discipline your mind to hold fast to the original creative thought. I am abundant. I am free. I am love. I am powerful. I am present. I am peaceful. I am joy. I am connected. I'm a powerful creator. I am love. Of course, the first time we say something like that, it's going to feel alien. The mind is going to scream otherwise. This is where we get to. This is the moment where you get to create yourself and overcome yourself. And that is a choice only you can make within yourself, for yourself. Nobody can do it for you. And this is where like that commitment comes in of like, I am choosing something different. I am not going to allow, negative thoughts and old patterns to create my future reality. So this is what it said earlier. This system is already working. Is it working in a way where you are being a conscious creator, or are you creating unconsciously? And then if looking at the results in your life, likely most of us, and I mean, I'm included here, we have mixed results with things. Some things turn out the way we want. Sometimes they don't. So do you want to create by default or design? So if you create by design, you're harnessing what's already happening with awareness. If you create by default, that's just going through the world willy-nilly. So if you're here hearing this, anybody that's listening, then you're ready to, be the creator. Yeah, and it is about we've had every experience. It can be used for our highest good. Joe Dispenza, I just listened to this good talk of his where he talked about his personal life. He never talks about his personal life. So if y'all want to hear that, because his story is, if you don't know, he's a spiritual teacher. He was in an accident and broke his back. And through metaphysics and meditation and overcoming his thoughts, he cured himself. And so he talks about that too. So he says, without me having had that horrible experience of breaking his back, he wouldn't have created what he created. So the thing is, when we shift into the solution, then we see our quote problems as blessings, because we're using that as fuel and we're overcoming ourselves. So when your thoughts are clear and steadfast, begin to speak them as truth. Say them out loud. Use the great command that calls forth creative power, I am. Make I am statements to others. I am is the strongest creative statement in the universe. Whatever you think, whatever you say after the words I am sets into motion those experiences, calls them forth and brings them to you. There's no other way the universe knows how to work. There's no other route it knows to take. The universe responds to I am as would a genie in a bottle. Okay, so I'm going to continue. We're about out of time. I like your suggestion, May. Thank you for sharing. I'm getting closer to... The thing with affirming, May, saying I'm getting closer to is, then you're going to create only ever getting closer to it. So although I get the spirit of that, that also, I wouldn't suggest using that one, or I am trying, because then you'll create continuing to try. So the author says, you say release all doubts, reject all fears, lose all pessimism, as if you're saying pick me up a loaf of bread. But these things are easier said than done, which is what we're talking about. Throw all negative thoughts out of your mental constructions. Might as well read Climb Mount Everest before lunch. It's a rather large order. Who else can relate? God says, harnessing your thoughts, exercising control over them is not as difficult as it might seem. Neither, for that matter, is climbing Mount Everest. It's all a matter of discipline. It's a question of intent. It's a matter of discipline. The word so many of us don't want to hear. The first step is learning to monitor your thoughts, to think about what you're thinking about. We talk about this all the time. Having that awareness is the biggest gift, because without it, you can't do anything. When you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts, thoughts that negate your highest idea about a thing, think again. I want you to do this literally. If you think you're in a doldrum, in a pickle, and no good can come of this, think again. If you think the world is a bad place filled with negative events, think again. If you think your life is falling apart and it looks as if you'll never get it back together again, think again. You can train yourself to do this. Look at how well you've trained yourself not to do this. Thank you. I've never had the process set out for me so clearly. I wish it were as easily done as said, but now I at least understand it clearly, I think. Well, if you need a review, we have several lifetimes. So we got through chapter 4. Wow. I like that one, Ginger. I'm open to the possibility of earning $1 million, of being a millionaire, of having the perfect body, or being in perfect health, or having the new job. So you have your task. We'll call it your homework for the week. We will meet again in 1 week from now. My invitation, the book's invitation for you, for me. You have the awareness of your thinking already. You wouldn't be here listening to this if you didn't. So this takes discipline and commitment and intention and willingness. For the next week, every time you catch yourself thinking the thing you don't want, the negativity, think again. Oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I love my body. Or I am getting better and better each and every day. I am thin. I am in perfect health. You don't have to think all those. I'm just giving examples. If you think, oh, like I can't do this, it's too hard, I can and I will. And we say this with love. It's not, don't be the critical parent voice. Don't have that energy when you correct your thinking. Correct it as if you have a child that's learning to walk and it fell down and they're getting back up. Awesome, Maureen. Thank you. Yes. You are already creating anyway. It's a longest practiced way. And this book, and There's Nothing Wrong with You, join me tomorrow for that book. It basically, we've been conditioned into it from childhood. So of course it's easier. It's longer practice. Those neural pathways are deeper, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you can't change. It's about your willingness, your intention, your commitment, your discipline. And you just practice over and over again. It's moment by moment creation. Great question, Lucy. So there's a famous affirmation that I think some science research was done, and I can't remember who did this. It's been a long time, but they had people with cancer or chronic pain, or health issues start to affirm the following. I always garble it up, but each and every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. In each and every day, I'm getting better and better in every way. Can somebody clean that up for me? Ginger knows about that. Maybe you know the affirmation, but that's the spirit of it. So, if you're in the moment and, my back hurts, and then underneath that might be like, it's been hurting for years. I'm getting better and better every day. So that will create getting better and better every day. Hi, Louise. Seen some other people join, Jeff. So thank you all for joining. Don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer, as well as all my social platforms. This replay, as well as all my others, are available. Send me a message if you'd like that info. I'm going to search it, see if I can find it. Because I want to see. I created that. Look what I did. And that one was not, I didn't catch that. I said I always garble it up. So then I created that. So then I could say, I said it the perfect way. And also, okay, so it was a French psychologist who did the study. Oh, it looks like it's quite simple. Yeah. See, okay. And then one of my favorite coaching things to rewire is up until now. Up until now, I've made it more complicated, and moving forward, I'm simplifying. It's simple. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. There might be another version where it's like each and every day. So take that on. It takes discipline and commitment. Change is not easy. If it was easy, we'd all have done it and we'd all already be there. Thank you, Lucy, for your courage. Yes, you're right. So upon awakening, before sleep, that's when it's typically the best to do affirmations because of the subconscious mind being open. So I will see you all in less than 24 hours. We're going to be doing There's Nothing Wrong With You, which is a powerful book as well. If you want the free PDF of that book, send me a message. If you want, the audio of this book today, send me a message. Thank you, Amy. Glad you're here, and everyone. Angela. All right. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, and I will see you soon.